We're up to the Mishnah Halacha Daled. Edo me nitmes, vedo me lo nitmes. If one witness says she was tamei, in other words, this is not the kinuin stira. This is besides the kinuin stira. Another witness comes and says she was tamei. She actually had relations. The vedo me lo nitma, no nitmes. Another aid says she did not become tamei. Isha meres nitmes. If one woman says she was tamei, visha meres lo nitmes. So it's first the Mishnah first speaks about 1/8 and 1/8, and then it talks about a woman on a woman. Haisa shoisa, she still drinks. Despite the fact that one witness said that she became tamei, this witness clashes with another witness, and therefore it remains a suffix, and therefore she drinks. Eidom nitmes, if one witness said she became tamei, ve'edim shnaim omri lo nitmes, the two witnesses say she would not become tamei. Haisa shoisa. So again, the two witnesses deny that tumah took place, and therefore she drinks the waters because it retains the flavor of the original suffix. We don't know what happened with the stira. If two say she, however, she became tamei, and only one says she was not tamei, she won't drink. Why? Because we assume that she did become tamei, and therefore she has to get divorced. Now, a couple of interesting things here. First of all, Pnei Moshe says that that which we say at the beginning, he quotes the Bavli, that which said at the beginning of the Mishnah that Eidom nitmes, ve'edim lo nitmes. In that case, we say she drinks because it's one-on-one. It's only when the two witnesses came together. But the witness who said nitmes came first, right? Then we say he's neman kushtayim, and she actually becomes forbidden, and she does not drink, because Torah believed one witness on Tumah because it said Ein Ba. If there's no witness against her, then she drinks. But if there's even one witness against her, then she does not drink. So therefore, if a witness comes, even one, independent of a clashing witness, that sets the tone that she may not drink the waters.
Well, it's similar to the Mishnahs that we learned last
Right. That's the Pnei Moshe. Just, I mean, the Bavli is just picking that up from the previous Mishnahs. Now, also the Pnei Moshe brings down. I assume this is from the Bavli, because the Korbanei also brings it down that the two witnesses who come against the one witness, they say in other words, one witness says nitma, the two witnesses come and say lo nitmes, so they're like edim zomimim. They say you can't say that she became tamei because you were with us, and therefore, since we didn't see that she became tamei, so therefore you didn't see she became tamei either. Okay, so I'm not sure why they dafka learn that way. That it's like edim zomimim, but that's how they learn the case.
So what happens to that aid?
Well,
He doesn't drink
it's a good question, though, because a matter of fact, it's a good question. The Gemara will not deal with it directly, but the Gemara will eliminate the question indirectly. Okay, so says Gemara, Gidu bar minyan min b'shem Rav. Gidu bar minyan named Rav says, Kol makom shiur edus ha'isha ki-ish. Every time they found that the testimony of women is as good as a man's, ha'ish machishes ha'isha, v'isha machishes ha'ish. The man contradicts the woman, and the woman contradicts the man. In other words, they clash on equal footing. Okay? So if that's the case, if that's true, what Gidu bar Minyamin is saying, so why does it not say in Mishnah? Let's say give a case where one witness says she became tamei, v'isham lo nitmes. In other words, let's set it up, Taka. Our Mishnah has an aid against an aid, and isha against an isha. According to this logic, it should have an aid against an isha, and isha against an aid.
So they want to be symmetrical. They want the issue to have symmetry.
Well, essentially, the Gemara gives a similar answer. Or Isha, so again, Nisne Eid Echoram and Eid Meis Visham or Lo Meis, or Isham and Isham Ron Eid Meis Eid Echoram and Lo Meis. So Tani Beis Rebbe came. In fact, in the house of Rebbe, they had such a girsa that way in the Mishnah. So it's not quite what you said. It's not because of symmetry, but the answer is Eino Chanami. There are those who learned that way. Tani B'Shem Rebbe Nechemia. But then they learn the name Rabbi Yehuda.
At least they didn't say pasnit.
Yeah.
A woman's going to contradict the man.
It's coming up later tonight. Taishe Rabbi Nechemia. Different context. Taishe Nechemia, learn the name Rabbi Nechemia. Now here it says Edus, but the Shara Teres Eretz Yisrael changes it. I think it makes sense what he says. Should be Hochin Acharov Deos. You go after the majority of opinions expressed. If we're talking about anyway people are apostle Edus, they don't follow the witnesses, you follow the majority of opinions. How so? How does it work? Shtei Noshim V'Ishachas, if two women said one thing, and one woman said another thing. It's like two witnesses against one witness. And we give credibility to the two against the one. Okay? So even though really they're not two witnesses because they're two women, nevertheless we give them credibility as two. However, it says more as a caveat on that. Harder the tamer that you say be Isha v'Nashi, where it's one woman against two women. Avon, one of the classic lines in Shas, if there are 100 women and one man, it's like one-on-one. So women against themselves, they count as majority. But women against men, one man is worth 1,000 women.
There's never a case where a man and a woman come together as a contract.
I guess that doesn't pass, yeah. I don't know. Well, I guess we could have spoken about that, but it would be scandalous. Okay. Ravada Baruch Hu Amar. Oh, actually here, the Vilna Ephraim, I don't know if you have to do this. The Vilna Ephraim throws in the Gemara moves up a Gemara from further down the page over here. So let's learn it the way he learns it. If you take a look, the second line from the bottom, the beginning of the line, he puts this Gemara in over here. Shimon bar Abba b'shem Rabbi Yochanan. Shimon bar Abba says his name Rabbi Yochanan. Kan lo haisa shoisa. Here she would not drink. Uvegla arufa haisa shoisa, but by egla arufa she does. You do kill the egla arufa. You know, egla arufa is only brought if you don't know who's responsible for the slaughter, for the killing of the person who was found dead in the field. So what if you have an Eid Echad who comes and says he knows who killed the guy? Nevertheless, you'd still do Egla Rufa. One witness is enough to get a woman out of drinking, but one witness is not enough to start the process of Egla Rufa. Okay, it makes sense. More explains it.
Yeah, well, because the woman is potentially could be killed from the mining.
Well, that's true.
The roof is just a carbine. So.
That's true, but we're going to take it a step further. Going back now to where we skipped from, 3 lines up from this, 4 lines up. Ravada Baruch Hu Amar, Ravada Baruch Hu said that Eid Echad Neman L'Tamoisa, one witness is believed to say she's tamei in order that she should not drink. However, Ein Eid Echad Neman L'Afsida Miksuvasa, one witness is not believed to cause her to lose her ksuva. To lose her ksuva, one witness is not believed. And I think that that's also what underlies the Egla Rufa, because it's more of a Cheshem Mishpat issue. In other words, for the halacha of Eid Ein Ba, there's discuss of one witness, seems of any kind, prevents her from drinking the waters because we assume she's Tameya after Kini and Stira. But in terms of Cheshem Mishpat, or, Egla Rufa, it's not really Cheshem Mishpat, but in terms of issues where substantial edus is necessary, so there, the one aid who comes does not prevent us from following through whatever we would have done in the absence of aiding. So therefore, just like if there were no aidim, she would not lose her ksuva, right? And so too, if there are no aidim, you would have to do the Egla Rufa. Even in the presence of one aid, she doesn't lose her ksuva, and you still have to do the Egla Rufa. Okay? Says the Gemara, Amra Chisa adds on here, Matam Omer Eid Echad Neman L'Tamoisa. Why they say an Eid Echad? Truth is, Omru is not really a good term because it's really a Daraisa. But why they say Eid Echad Neman L'Tamoisa? I guess we're talking about even a woman. Maybe the pasuk itself is not indicating even a woman would be kosher for this. And so why do we believe even a woman? Because there's a special Glam Dover means special umdana, special indication that she became Tameo? What's the indication? There was Kinyan Stira, which preceded this episode here. So therefore here, the reason why we believe the Eid Echad is because the Eid Echad creates a Raglaim L'Dover. It's coming, right, it's a Reach, right? It's coming on the heels of Raglaim L'Dover. So that's why we have this concept of an Eid Echad being believed L'Tamo, to be Matamir, as opposed to any of ourselves. So again, Rufan, even the Ksuva itself, there we do not accept what they're saying. Now, the Kohen Ephraim points out an interesting thing. He says that before we had said on Chav Vav and Beis, actually, everybody points out, Moshe Ephraim, we had said that Rabbi Akiva holds that the Eid Echad does cause her to lose the Ksuva. Rabbi Tarfon did not hold that the Eid Echad causes her to lose the Ksuva. He held that the Eid Echad is not believed to cause lose the Ksuva, even though she's believed, the Eid Echad is believed to deem this woman Tameh, not to drink. Nevertheless, the Ksuva she gets, Rabbi Akiva argues. And we, of course, pass him like Rabbi Akiva in this regard. So the question is, how this seems to argue over here, right? Because you're saying that an Eid Echad is not believed Lafsida Ksuva. So how do we reconcile this sugi with this sugi back there? So Pnei Moshe Kormei Taka want to say that our sugi disagrees with Rabbi Akiva. That's very difficult because we actually do pass him like Rabbi Akiva. And that's sugi. And that's how we mentioned, we learned it back then, that with the Shari Teres changed around the gears that Rabbi Tarfon could see to Rabbi Akiva as opposed to Rabbi Akiva could see to Rabbi Tarfon, as it's written there. So he wants to say, the Gilin Ephraim, that here we're talking about specifically where an Eid Echad, the Eid Echad comes to cause her to lose a Ksuva because he says that she was Tmeah, is opposed by another Eid. Because that's really the case in our Mishnah. Ein Achnami, if the Eid Echad had come on his own, and there was Raglaim L'Dovar, so he would believe that actually to cause her to lose her Ksuva. But in this case, we're talking about the Eid Echad came with Hakosha, with contradiction. And that's why if I might say, even according to Rabbi Akiva, here, the Eid Echad would not cause her to lose her Ksuva. Again, because of the Hakosha which is involved in it, because of the contradiction in testimony. Now, there's a slight difference according to Gilin Ephraim between the Bavli and Yerushalmi Sotah here. The Bavli uses for a komokom shemina Torah Eid Echad areu kushnayim. I mentioned that before. Everybody's Torah believes one witness. That one witness is like two, and therefore, according to that, really you'd have to say that if the Eid Echad is believed, kushnayim, so she really should have to lose her ksuva with the one witness, right? Which is what Rabbi Akiva says, and which is what we would say also. Over here, we're not the Eid Echad to come back with a chosha, with a contradiction. But the thing is that it seems that the reason why there's a chosha, in that case, I say that the ksuva is not lost, according to Gilin Ephraim, is because Yerushalmi doesn't know precisely of this concept of Koma Kom Shemiyah Torah Eid Echad Reik, only there's a Raglaim L'Dover. Where besides the testimony the guy's saying, there's also an indication that what he's saying is correct. So therefore, if it's an Eid Echad B'Chosha, if one witness is being contradicted by another witness, so then there's no Raglaim L'Dover, and that's why if there's no Raglaim L'Dover, we do not accept the testimony of this one witness when it's contradicted by the other witness, and we say that she doesn't lose her ksuva.
How can you say that wherever there's one, it's as if it's two? In the Torah it says, Al Pi Shneim.
Yeah, but that's normally, those are cases where the Torah doesn't accept one witness. But here the Torah does accept one witness, that's why it's one is like two. Specifically because that pasuk of Eid Ein Bo, which tells us that the Torah accepts one witness here.
No, but he's extrapolating that for the...
No, just for wherever, I don't, like Eid Echad and Bisurin, it's not by any other case. Only case where the Torah specifically gave them one is credibility to one witness. Okay, to the bottom line of the Gemara. Rav Amar Haisa Shoisa. Rav said, even if one witness comes, it's meaningless, she still drinks. Says, well, what? How can you say that, Rav? Mastisa pliga Rav. Our mission seems to argue on Rav. Because our mission says, Eid Echad Omer Nitmeis. If one witness says that she's tmeya. Vishnayim armim lo nitmeis, and two say she's not tmeya. Then, because it's 2-on-1, hoysa shoysa. Because there are two witnesses who say that she's not tmeya. That but her aid be'aid echad lo hoysa shoysa. Sounds like it was. Sounds like if it was one on. So it looked very amusing. This standard.
It's very impressive.
Okay.
You're missing a major lecture here.
Yes.
Not just a shiur.
So
Sorry for ruining your train of thought.
this is the first time one really has to give the moment's historic significance. This is the first time in the history of the world that this blot is being taught in Daf Yomi Yerushalmi in English. Because the Daf Yomi Yerushalmi in English, which existed in Australia during the first cycle, disbanded way before they got to Masechta Sotah. Way before that. So this, if you want weightiness besides the Stender, this is the first time in the 1800 years, whatever it is, it's not that long, 1600 years since the Yerushalmi was written, that actually this is taking place. So it certainly deserves a very large Stender.
I don't know whether it's true, but I was told that in Flatbush there's
So,
an English.
Amud Yomi.
Yeah.
Amud Yomi. Check
I
it.
was the one that told you.
Yeah. No, he told us that he said independently, but you're the one who actually went and
Yeah.
verified
We
it.
want to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Which stuff we want to get asked the question.
The Chav Ches HaBeis.
And they were still in Mizraim or something.
Yeah. Okay. So so it sounds Rav was saying that as long as you have only one witness who says she's Tamei, she still has to drink the waters. So Gemara seems our mission seems to contradict that because our mission is Masisa Pliga Rav. Our mission says eight echad oimer nitmeis. One eight says nitmeis, which of course is a reason not to drink. If she's Tamei, why bother drinking? Shtarmin lo nitmeis. Two say she's not Tamei and therefore she should drink. Again, Tamei we're talking about here is not stira, but rather tuma mamish. Okay. So therefore, Sharmi lo nitmeis hoysa shoysa. So it sounds like the only reason she drinks because it's one who would have her not drink against two who would say she should still drink. But if one witness, it sounds like if there's only one witness who says the nitmeis against one witness who says lo nitmeis, so then hoysa lo hoysa shoysa. It sounds like she would not drink. So the kasha and Rav. So pasar law. It's a very funny answer. I mean, not hilarious, but not as hilarious as the Stender. But pasar law b'psulei edus. The Pnei Moshe, explains the teretz that really, if an Eid Echad comes and says nitmeis, she also drinks. We just ignore that Eid Echad. The Eid Echad who says Tmeah, which should get her out of drinking, right? Because she's Tmeah. Just ignore it. Hi, so why did the Mishnah come and tell us only the one against two case? Why don't you tell us 1-on-1 or 1-on-0? Why don't you jump up to 1-on-2? So he says that our Mishnah is coming to tell us something else. It's coming to tell, our Mishnah is talking about where there are psulim le'edus involved. And to tell us that where there are psulim te'eh for edus involved, then we go after rov deus. Go after the majority of statements rendered, of opinions rendered. Okay? Unless we had, like we had if we had even one kosher witness against 100 puzzle witnesses or 100 women, then it's considered to be like 1-on-1. But the Chiddush HaMishnah wants to tell us is that even though an Eid Echad says she's nitmeis, and two witnesses say lo nitmeis, even though the Eid Echad who says nitmeis, and the two witnesses who say lo nitmeis are all psulim, so he'd say, what's the difference between 1, 2, or 100? No. We go after rov deus. Since we go after rov deus, so therefore we follow whatever the majority statement is. If two people say that she should drink and one says she shouldn't drink, we do follow those two. Okay? So that's the Chiddush of our Mishnah. That we follow the Rov, Deos, and Psulei Edus. Okay?
Psulei Edus is not the same
as women? No, it is. In this case, I mean, it is really the same thing.
And 100 women is 100 to 1. 100
Not against a kosher witness. Against a thief, yeah.
Here you have 2 psulim versus 1 kosher.
Right. No, it's not a kosher. They're all
Oh, they're all psulim.
They're all psulim. They're all psulim.
And then it's a level ground.
Right, it's a level playing field. So that's why I follow Rov Deos. Okay? Says Marvim Psulei Edus. If our mission is in detail Psulei.
Does that mean we're not, it's really not a din in Adis at all? It's kind of,
Well, what would you call it? You're right, of course not in Edus.
Hearsay.
Evidence.
So
It's an evidentiary proceeding, even though it's not true testimony.
There's something about that, I think some Torah about that with regard to Adis of Rosh Chodesh. It's really not Adis that establishes the new moon.
Well, that's a different thing. That's what has to do with Adis Kiyum versus Adis Biur, and what the function of base, the Adim and base in there. But here it's different.
Don't we accept a Psuli Adis for Rosh Chodesh?
There's the Habmin to accept the father and son, but we don't actually accept it.
There's something, some Torah I heard about in that regard.
We have a Havamina, I believe, but I don't think there's a Maskana in that respect. Anyway, so it says more, if we're talking about Psuliatus, fourth line down, and more Seifel, let's look at the end of the mission, it says, Shnai Mace, two of them, two witnesses say she's Tomeya, which case she would not drink. Veidoi Mer Lonit Mace. One witness says she's not Tomeya, which case she would drink. Loisa Shoisa. So in that case, she doesn't drink, right? Because it's 2 against 1. Ho'eid be'eid. It sounds like it would be 1-on-1. Loisa Shoisa. She wouldn't drink. Why not? According to Rav. It sounds, again, it says the only reason she's off the hook is because it's 2 against 1. But 1-on-1, it's masha that she would drink. But Rav says where it's 1 witness you never drink, because we just discount the 1 witness. The Gemara doesn't answer. It just leaves it dangling difficult. The Gemara goes on now to Rabbi Yochanan. Now Rabbi Yochanan says, Rabbi Yochanan says that if there's one quotes him here. If there's 1 witness who says she's Tmeya, she doesn't drink. He argues on Rav. Rav says 1 witness says Tmeya, she still drinks. Rabbi Yochanan says 1 witness says Tmeya, she doesn't drink, right? So it says the Rabbi Yochanan Mishnah argues Rabbi Yochanan the same rigmarole we went through with Rav. It says Shnayim Arim Nit Mason. 2 people say she became Tmeya. One says she's not Tmeya. So 2 want her to drink. Want her off the hook. She's nitmei, she doesn't drink, right? Because she's Tmeya anyway. And 1 guy wants her off the hook and says, on the hook, right. I thought I would get through without getting confused about that, but right. If she's Tmeya, she doesn't drink. If she's low nitmei, then she does drink, right? So Shnayim need mace that she's Tmeya and she shouldn't drink. And therefore she should drink. She wouldn't drink. So it sounds like it's only because it's 2 against 1. Her aid beid sounds like it was 1-on-1. She would drink. So he wants to say also, Rabbi Yochanan, that some Psulias no according to tell us that Psulias will go over to the majority. But it's 1-on-1. Then tak Rabbi Yochanan Zoysa Shoysa. So as the more of Imbib Suliedus, if the Tzayab Suliedus Amarosh took the beginning of the mission, it says, Hoyshas Shoysa, I'm sorry, skip. Ha'edom and Nit Mace, if 1 witness says she's Tmeya. Vishnayim, lo Nit Mace, and 2 say she's not Tmeya. Hoysa Shoysa, she would drink. Right? 1 witness says she's Tmeya, which means she should be kept off the hook. Therefore put her back on the hook. Hoysa Shoysa, she drinks. So because it sounds like it's 2 against 1. Or 8 beid, it sounds like if it would be 1 witness against one witness.
They cancel each other out, and she drinks.
Yeah, but that's is that a kasher? Right. Choice, right? The cancel Charlotte, she would drink, and that's kasher Rabbi Yochanan because Rabbi Yochanan said they shouldn't drink. So it says more. Hey, Rabbi Yochanan loisa shoisa. Rabbi Yochanan says she doesn't drink. So we don't answer. Actually, what I just said is incorrect. The Shai Teres Yisrael holds we don't answer this question. However, the Gilin Ephraim learns that the Gemara now comes to answer the question on Rabbi Yochanan, not on Rav. And I will learn like the Gilin Ephraim that this is an answer. I'm Hashem B'Shmuel B'Suliyadis. They said in the name of Shmuel, our mission is to have B'Suliyadis, which of course we know, right? And so about not kosher witnesses, but P'Sul witnesses, and therefore you go after Rov Deos, right? To whoever is saying the majority view. So it says tomorrow now, and Armin B'Sher Rishul, this is a critical point. They say in the name of Shmuel, B'Stira Acheres he must niso. Very interesting thing. Again, I'm going to learn this like the Gilin Ephraim. B'Stira Acheres he must niso means the Eidim will argue about Tmeah and Lo Nitma. They're not talking about in the stira in which the kinui and stira took place, which we will come to in a few minutes. They're talking about another tumah. In other words, she was nistera at 5 o'clock last Wednesday, but their shiur is what is she doing at 6 o'clock last Thursday, and that's their issue. Now the thing is, once that becomes the issue, an interesting point arises. We said in the Yerushalmi that the reason why Neid Echad is believed is not because Kol Makom Shemina Torah Eid Echad Arei Kushnayim, but rather because of Raglaim L'Davar. But Raglaim L'Davar is with the guy in which there's Kinui and Stira, because, there was obviously some funny business going on there. But this is talking about another guy at another time. So there's no Raglaim L'Davar on this thing. You see that? So therefore, even Rabbi Yochanan would agree. If it's the testimony, or precisely Rabbi Yochanan would concede that when do I say that if Eid Echad Omer Nitma Shloisa Shoisa we believe him and she doesn't drink when there's credibility because it's the same guy, either mamish in that stira or in a different stira but with the same guy sometime later on. But if it's a different guy, a different place, different time, whatever, then I would say in that case I might say there's no Raglaim L'Davar. And therefore the Eid Echad says Tmeah is not believed, and therefore Shitaka should drink.
Could you also say just the opposite, that there's even more Raglayim, because she already has some reputation about the husband's...
But we don't know she's promiscuous, we just know she...
The husband suspected her enough to warn
this
guy, and then an aide comes and warns her and says that she's tummy with another guy.
Yeah, but there's no Raglayim L'Davar the other guy.
No, but there's...
She never fell in love with him.
May be promiscuous.
Yeah, but that's not the same degree of Raglaim L'Davar as with the guy with whom she was forewarned. Simply not the same level. It's a less level. Okay, so that's what it said. That's what. Now, again, that answers Rabbi Yochanan because in that case, Rabbi Yochanan would say that we don't believe the Eid Echad who says that she's smear because there's no Raglaim L'Davar. Rabbi Zira Ba'akum Rabbi Mana. Rabbi Zira asked in front of Rabbi Mana. Mao. What's the status? B'stira Acheres he must nisa. Is our mission talking about Taka where it's a stira Acheres? Amar Leisa, he said, Canaan Rabbi Yochanan Sheh Rabbi Yanai. It's got to be that way. Because Rabbi Yochanan said name Rabbi Yanai, Kol in Pirka Mishakini Love and Nistra. On a entire parak is talking about a case where there was Kinoi and then stira. And if there's Kinoi, then stira, and then Nitma. Then Eid Echad Omer Nitma. This is Raglaim L'Davar. So therefore it's got to be talking about a case where it's with somebody else. And therefore, there's with somebody else, so there's no Raglaim L'Davar, and therefore she wouldn't drink. The Gilin Ephraim.
Could you then say that Rav holds that the Mishnah is talking about not a different tumah, but the same case? Kinun Stira and Tumah on an original, on just one guy. So that's why he would say that he does drink, that she does drink. Once you try.
No. Our Mishnah, Shiloh's our Mishnah. Rav can't say, to say Stira Acheres in our Mishnah won't help. Because our Mishnah's mashma that she drinks. Well, wait a minute. Our Mishnah's mashma, the question of Rabbi Yochanan is from the mashmos, our Mishnah that she drinks. And then Rabbi Yochanan answers our Mishnah's talking about where it's the Ishacher. Right? So it's Ishacher, so therefore it's not a problem. She does drink because there's no Raglayim B'Dover vis-a-vis the other guy. Rav's problem is from the part of our Mishnah, which is mashma, there was an Eid Echad against her, she doesn't drink. According to Rav, she's supposed to drink. According to Rav.
Yeah, according to Rav, right.
So Stira Acheres won't help you with that. Because on the contrary, Stira Acheres would be more of a reason for her not to drink. But Rav's saying she does drink. How does Rav learn our Mishnah? So we don't understand that how Rav learns our Mishnah. But there's an important point here to make according to Vilna Ephraim. According to Vilna Ephraim, he says that until our Mishnah, the cases which are in the Perek were cases where there was Kinoi and Stira, and then there was an Eid Tuma on this person. Nevertheless, according to Rabbi Yochanan, she doesn't lose her ksuva. So a tremendous chiddush. The first time is the potentiality of losing ksuva is when Rabbi Akiva comes along and says an Eid Echad caused her to lose a ksuva. Otherwise, she doesn't lose her ksuva. In this case, in a case where she had kinoi and stira, and even with an Eid Tuma afterwards. So obviously, if that's the case, it's not like Beis Hillel, because Beis Hillel says any place where she should drink and doesn't drink, she doesn't get a ksuba. We possibly not that. We possibly that any place where she does get a ksuba unless there's some explicit testimony to deprive her of her ksuba. So he says, if that's true in all the previous cases, Rabbi Yochanan said she keeps her ksuba because an Eid Tuma is not enough to take her off the path of an Eid Echad, according to Rabbi Yochanan, is not enough to take her off the path of Shisia. And since she's going to drink, she gets her ksuva. Remember, who shouldn't get her ksuva? A woman who's tmeya. Who should get a ksuva? A woman who's not tmeya or can prove herself not tmeya by going to drink. So therefore Rabbi Yochanan has told, Lo isa shoisa. No, in a case where Rabbi Yochanan says, 1 second, I think I'm confusing myself here. Right, I'm sorry, I got mixed up. Rabbi Yochanan holds, in all cases, even where Lo isa shoisa, she still gets her ksuva. That's what it says here, Kol Hain Pirka. The entire parak is talking about, this is actually at the beginning of the parak already, Mishkinalav and Nistra, and nevertheless she gets a ksuva. Because nowhere in our mission does it say she loses her ksuva. Rabbi Akiva is the one who says she loses her ksuva when we have a valid Eid Echad against her. Zatgin and Ephraim said on Ramrav, yes, but that's talking about an Eid Echad who's free and clear, not Eid Echad Bachosha. When the Eid Echad is contradicted, then even Rabbi Akiva agrees that she doesn't get her, that she doesn't lose her ksuva, right? Where there's an Eid Echad of Tuma against her, she loses her ksuva. Where there isn't an Eid Echad of Tuma against her, she doesn't lose her ksuva. Of course, she's just supposed to go drink. And even if there is an Eid Echad of Tuma against her, but that Eid Echad clashes with another Eid who says that there was no Tuma, she doesn't lose her ksuva either, right? That's what we said in Amrav. So here, in our Mishnah, when our Mishnah Kon Rabbi Yochanan, he's touching it up as a case where it's Stira Acheres, right? It's another guy. And there's no Raglayim L'Dover, so certainly in that case she doesn't lose the ksuva either. Okay, so that's why our Mishnah would hold that she doesn't lose the ksuva. Like we said in Amud Aleph, right? We said in Amud Aleph that Eid Echad, Ravada B'Rachu, Amar Eid Echad Nemel Tamoisa, Eid Echad Nemel Lafsida Ksuvos. Why is the Eid Echad not believed to be Mafsir Ksuva? The truth is now, I'm thinking this out loud as I'm talking. Now we can say an even better reason why an Eid Echad doesn't cause lose ksuva than we said in Amud Aleph. And Amud Aleph, the Gilin and Ephraim proposed that here the Eid Echad does not cause lose ksuva because the Eid Echad which clashes. But we can say an even better reason because here's our mission talking about Eid Echad b'stira acheres. Ve'ed echad b'stira acheres, then it's no raglayim l'dover. But then she doesn't lose her ksuva. Because it has to be raglayim l'dover in order to lose her ksuva. But I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe the Din Ephraim holds, yeah, that's true. That if it's Eid Echad B'Stira Acher, she doesn't lose her ksuva. Yeah, I guess maybe we can learn that way. Okay.
If it's Eid Echad B'Stira Acheres,
Yeah.
then she's still a Sotah for the first case, and she should...
Right. But she doesn't lose her ksuva as a result. Erechanami.
But
She's supposed to... She should drink. Right. She's continuing on drinking, but she doesn't have an automatic loss of ksuva. Okay. Says Gemara. Now, the next Gemara is kind. If this Gemara is kind of tough, the next Gemara is very, very cryptic. And this, by the way, this is a hard Gemara, in case you haven't noticed. But at least it was hard for me to figure out. But the next one is even more complex. She got steer in front of two. I'm going to learn this. I think the way I'm learning is more or less the way Pnei Moshe learned, but to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure of that. It might just way to be the way back off her learns. So Nisa of Neshnaim, she got steer in front of two. Omar Eid Echad said, Ani Rizir Shnit Meis B'toch Kidei Stira. In that stira I saw her being Tomei. Okay, in that stira. Yesh kan stira. There's stira here. Yesh kan Tuma. There's Tuma here as well. That's clearly going to Rabbi Yochanan. According to Rabbi Yochanan, and Eid Echad says Nit Meis, Lo Yisa Shoisa. She doesn't drink already. Because 1-8 says she's Tmea, right? Nothing about Hefsek Ksuva. She might not lose her Ksuva because remember, it's one, and this is key, it's one-on-one here. Because the other aid doesn't say he saw Tuma. He just says he saw Stira. It's really a clash, but she still doesn't lose her Ksuva. Okay? And she wouldn't lose her Ksuva because, again, it's Eid Echad against Eid Echad. So Yesh Kan Stira, Yesh Kan Tuma. There's Stira and there's Tuma, but she doesn't necessarily lose her Ksuva. We don't know anything about that. L'achar Kedei Stira. What if the witness said, I saw her become Tmeya after Kedei Stira? After Kedei Stira means later on, not when she was in, not in that seclusion, which I'm testifying with my buddy, but later on in my own. Ooh, in this case, Yesh Kan Stira, there is Stira, but Ein Kan Tuma. There's no Tuma here. Now, this is a very interesting thing. It seems like where there's no Tuma is because there's no Raglaim L'dover. It's a Chiddush in Mishnah, so the Gemara is saying. When is the Raglaim L'dover? Only if the Tuma is with the same guy in the same stira. But if it's later on, he claims he saw stira b'tuma acheres, not necessarily, but not necessarily in that case do I give Raglaim L'dover and say he's believed. Okay? Says the Gemara there. Now, Hayu Shlosha, what are the three witnesses? Echad Omer, one says, Ani Yisir Shenit Meis. I saw that she became to Tmeya, right? Tok they stira, within that stira. Yesh kan stira, there is stira, they all say it's stira, but ain't kan tuma, there's no tuma. Hi, he says so, but what's his status? He's 1 against 2. The other two say just nistra without tuma, right? He's 1 against 2. So therefore, he doesn't have credibility. He might have Raglaim L'dover, but not enough to go up against 2 Eidim. So in this case, since 2 of them say just stira without tuma, and he's only one who says tuma, so therefore she still has to drink. Yeah, right? Yesh kan stira ve'en kan tuma. Now, achar kedei stira, if this one guy said after stira, this first word has to be changed from ain to yesh. Korbanei and Pnei Moshe changed it. Problem is they both changed the second ain also, but I don't understand how they do that. If the one guy comes and says later on, I saw later on, then yesh kan stira, doesn't counteract the stira, obviously, but Ein kan tuma. There is no tuma as well. Why is there no tuma? Because it's already after Raglaim Ladover. There's no Raglaim Ladover because we said Raglaim Ladover is only when within the stira they see it, but not later on. Hayu shloisha. Now this is a very cool case. The three people. Echad Omer ani yisir shaloni meis betoch k'dei stira. And one, they all say we saw stira. But one of them says explicitly, I saw she didn't become Tmeya during stira. I saw she didn't become Tmeya. Now in that case, says Tzina Yerushalmi in explaining this case, what the concept is, he says in this case, he's standing in direct contradiction to the mechayiv of Mei Ma'orim. Because Mei Ma'orim don't just come on a stira, they come to be mevarer if an avera occurred. He's coming saying, there is no justifiable cause for Mei Sotah because she remained pure and clean. Even the case of Nitma is not a contradiction to the Mei Sotah, just saying, why should we make her drink? We know she's Tmeya anyway. But this guy says, no, she wasn't Tmeya. She remained Tahoira. See, there's a difference. There's saying getting her out of drink because she's Tmeya, that's in a technicality. There's having her drink because you don't know if Nitma. But this is saying she wasn't Nitma. So therefore the Gemara here clears the Shaila. It's not clear. What do you say about this? Maybe say it's ke'edu shebatla miktsasa batla chula. Since part of the edus falls in direct contradiction to the entire concept of Sotah, maybe the entire edus falls. Because you know, edu shebatla miktsasa batla chula. If you have three people come as a group, and one of them is canceled, then the whole group has to be tossed out. Okay? Or do I say, this guy made his bashar? Do I say, chuck him out? The other two test witnesses work. So Avrami said, it should be afilu, according to Shara Teretz Yisrael. Afilu man da amar. Afilu da amar. Maybe it's afilu man da amar. Even you say, be'edu shabal mitzasa batla kula, that's on the normal cases. This guy made this bashar, but here he says no. Here it doesn't work that way. Here we say this guy made his bashar. Why? Since there was stira involved, so that raglaim ladover here works against the eid echad, one of the three, because stira indicates that such raglaim ladover we say maybe he didn't see properly. So therefore we actually give the drinking the benefit of the doubt precisely because this is a case of raglaim ladover. Once you see stira, that something was going on here, so therefore we actually discount his testimony, and we don't say it's like nimsa echel karva pasul. Okay, so we would make her in this case drink the water. Okay, says more further. Was that the end of the parak? Mm-hmm. Oh, great. Next parak is so far at least.
And they don't say anything about
right.
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 So
they're still raglaim
neutral. They're
right.
not neutral, but they're not, regarding Tumah, they're neutral.
Right, but the raglaim dover is in their favor.
They carry so.
Okay. El Newar Mishal, these are stated in any language. Parsha Sotah, the Parsha of Sotah, when we read the Sotah, what she did, about the curses. Vidri Meiser, when somebody comes and says that he eradicated all the mices the last 3 years, which are in his possession still. Kriya Shema, Utfila, Birkas HaMazar, Ushvua Zayis Shvus, and the Shvua assigned to people who neither have testimony to tell over or deny that they have objects given for safekeeping. Those are all in any language. How do we know? It says, the Kohen should say the woman, any way that she can hear it. Rabbi Yehoshua said, you don't even need a pasuk for this. If she doesn't understand what's being said, Shamas means doesn't understand. How can you say amen? Right? So she's got to say amen. What's she saying amen to? By us, it's not a kasha. We say amen and we have no idea what we're saying amen to. But by them, it's such a kasha, right? Ela Shalo says Gemara, so why does it say V'amar Kohen Laisha? Why does it say that he's got to tell her? So it's telling us, Shalo Yomer Lai De Turgamon. You got to get a Kohen who knows her language, not to speak by interpreter. Rabbi Shimon said amazing statements. Lamatzinu shediber hamokom imaisha elim sora bavad. Hashem never spoke to women except with Sarah. It's amazing thing because we know there are 7 Nevios. Yeah, but obviously Nevuah, the pasuk is not taken to be the same. The Gemara is not taken to be the same thing as Dibur. Dibur must be much higher Madrego than the Nevuah. I don't know. I'm just saying it because look here, and I didn't get a chance to look around to see if somebody comments on it. But that's clearly what it's saying. No, Hashem never. Hashem was menabi her, but never spoke to her. You know what I would say? Maybe in order to just sneak off the cup again.
Malka was the Malach.
It was Malach, yeah. No, but the mouth spoke to her. But she was a woman. The mouth spoke to her. But maybe we're going to say. First of all, we're going to say Nevuah comes through Malachim. But another what we could say is that when it says that the Hashem never spoke to women, what it means is that he never spoke personally. Never had a shmooze with a woman. Tanakh. The Nevuah he gave, but not a shmooze. Because with Sarah he had a shmooze. Because Sarah said, Lo tzochakti, right? And the Shechina said, Lo ki tzochakti. You did laugh. So it was time a shmooze, it wasn't Nevuah. Maybe that's the case. Okay. V'aksiv doesn't say, V'lo Yisro Amar, he spoke to Chava, so you're going to have a lot of language. From Rabbi Yaakov the Parchania, they turned him on. He spoke to him, Hashem spoke to him, the interpreter. Vaksi didn't say, Vayom Hashem lo shnei v'nech. Hashem said to Rivka, you have 2 kids in your womb, and here it says, Vayomer lo, he said to her, Babakana, Hadibor, it says your nafla law, which means it fell down to her, but the Mashbiach changes the nafla to nemar law. In other words, it was said over, as Rashi brings down Chumash, to shame, was Malki Tzedek to say over to her. So she got the message, but it wasn't directly, a burst of dibur to her. Amar Abiri said, how many causes HaKadosh Baruch Hu needed, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu mis'ad l'ishmos yid chosn, because he wants to hear the pratol of Noshim Tzidkanios. How so? Vayomer here, the Loki Tzachak. HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to go to Avraham and say, Avraham, I heard Sarah saying X, Y, Z. Why is she saying that? In order to get her to respond. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to be in this daber with the emos. But sometimes he had to go to great lengths in order to get them to actually follow through on that. And so that's why he spoke to Avraham, and she said, Lotzo, she answered, Lotzo Chakti, because she was afraid. So why was that necessary? They should first go to Avraham Avinu, because if she had first gone to Kosh Baruch had first gone to Sarah, right? So then she might not have answered at all, right? She just would take it as a rebuke. But this way, if Hashem goes to Avraham Avinu and she hears that and she is morally indignant, she'll respond to it. Okay, so that's kirkurim, like roundabout ways. Okay, says more further. Vidui Meiser, where does it say Vidui Meiser is said in any language? Sivanisa Amarta. Respond and say. In Kriya Shema Dichsiv Dibarta Ba. Speak in them, whatever speech you say. Rabbi Omer, Rabbi says, it's got to be said in Hebrew. My time Pasuk teaches us says, they should be as they were given. Right? They should be as they were. Rabbi Levi Bar Chaisor, also Kesari went to Kesarin. Shama Kol and Karya. Here are the teachers, Shama Alunstin, that they were translating in Greek. They were teaching in English, right? Baal Makvatot, he wanted to beat upon them for teaching Psukim in Greek. Shom Rabbi Yossi Vikbid, Rabbi Yossi heard it, he got upset. Omar, he said, Kachani Omar, this is what I say, Vishina Deli Kos Kashuris, somebody doesn't know to read the Assyrian block print which you use, Lo Yikren Akol Ikor. He shouldn't read the Megillah at all. Elo Yotzim Choloshin Shirodeh. He's writing any language that he wants. And so too, over here we would say that certainly the young lads in the school should be able with any language they want. In other words, to teach them Chumash, you should be able to teach them in any the carrier. Sarfin should be able to teach them Chumash in any language that they want, even in Greek. Okay, so that's why we have heter nowadays to touch up psukim into Yiddish. I never actually use it. I never actually English, Yiddish, whatever it was. No, that's how they teach kids in the Chassid Shechadarim, you know. Beishis Bergar, Lokim, and I forget how they I forget. Anyway, be that as it may. So say in any event, says the Gemara. Yeshurai Brecher answered, Megillah Esther, what about Megillah Esther? Here, daily cross our shoes with Laz. God needs to know the reason either in a Syrian block print or in Laz in Hebrew print. Any Eitzabel Ashurus is God reading Ashurus. Now, true this here, I think it's also going on, I take that back. I think it's going here on the language in which it's written. Laz is, Greek, English. Ashurus is the language in which the Megillah is written, because it has a lot of, those kinds of words, Assyrian words in it. So therefore it's got to hear Assyrian, right? So Ella Amar said, Megillah says it's different. Megillah says, so yeah, Deli Krosa Ashuris Velas. Here's where you know both. Then Ena Yoitel Ashuris. Then you have to read in Ashuris specifically. However, Velas, if all you know is Laz, then Yoitel Bo Velas, you Yoitel with Laz as well. Okay, and just like Laz, you answer with any language you know. Utvila, when does a person start davening? The minute he knows to ask, to make requests. When does he can make Birlas Hamazon? When he knows to whom he's making a bracha. Ushvuas Eidus Ushvuas Meikar, and the Shvuas the persons make Mashmino Sobil Shonenu. We make them take the oath in our language. Ish Biyashan Shalobil Shonim. What if that's not their language of the captives? For Amramin, they said Amen. Harei Elupturim, they're exempt from continuing the trial. Was no, they're not. 1 second. It's Bitmi, I think. Yeah, let me go back a second. I got myself confused. He's being may take an oath not in their own language. It said Amen, they're exempt. Korelatani, like that, which you learned, yeah, okay. Yeah, I got it. Okay, fine, let's read Bas. It says Shvuas Hadayonim. We make whenever Shvuas Eidim and Shvuas Apikonim. Whenever we make them take the Shvu, we say you take the Shvu based on what we're thinking, not based on what you're thinking. Not your interpretation of the oath, but on our interpretation of the oath. If we read them in our language, in Hebrew, why would we have to make him take an oath? If it's all Greek to him, or Hebrew to him, so then when he answers, of course he's going to do it al da'atenu. He has nothing else to go on, right? So if we read it, if we make him make him promise, say Amen, that he's not going to lie, right? Make him say Amen on whatever Shavuos we're giving. So obviously he understands it. So if he obviously understands it, must be giving in the language which he understands. Okay? So that's it says here. Shavuos says the Shavuos because Mashmina Vasabil Shalom make him take an oath in his own language. Yishmin Shalom Shalom made obviously because and Yishmin Shalom Shalom if he's made him take a different language, or even though it said Amen or Reilu Pturin, they don't bring a carpet. And what's the proof? This card. The other time that we learned Shavuos Dayanim. We say like the conditions in our heart, look at not the conditions in your heart, which means obviously in the sense of saying. Arabian said, nah. Anyway, whenever a guy takes a shvua, we assume that he's doing it like we have in our hearts. Whatever language you make him take the shvua in, whether it's a language he understands or not. Alright, that's the case. So if he's always taking al da'atenu based on our perception of the shvuas, so why don't we take him take another oath that he's doing the shvua on our account and on his account? It's mivnei yoitos. It's marisayin. Because of the fools. That people shouldn't think that you can make a stipulation of shvua. That's why we warn him before we begin that his stipulations are null void. Tyra Echina Kumi Rav Mana said, Vaksi doesn't say that this is actually a proof that tonight does work by shvua. It says Vaksi ki es asher yishno poimon hayom. It says all those standing does stay are part of the bris, and asher neno poimon hayom. Those also not here today. Mashma enough. What are we deriving from this? So he said Hadoros haboyim achreinu aim b'li bom tonight. They said to what Chazal were saying, or the Torah is saying, that the generations come after us have no tonight, they don't yet exist to have a tonight. So too, and here they throw in this from the Morning Dorim, Kachonu Emily Beinu tonight, so too we have no tonight in our hearts. So their Am Yisrael was required back then to take a shvua that they really meant what they were going to say, what they said they would do. So too, in all generations, he wants to learn that a shvua, it's more than that. They have to take a shvua and preclude all possible tonight. They have to make sure to preclude tonight. So we see that tonight could work in shvua. So our proof that shvua can be said in any language, because otherwise, our answer was that really shvua is taken in your language, and the conditions don't apply. We're just going pro forma. It's clearly not the case. Because we see here the conditions can apply, because that's why Moshe Rabbeinu had to say explicitly, Asher yesh to po v'asher neno made po. In order to say, they're just like they have no tanoim in mind, because they're not yet born, so too you have no tanoim in mind as well. So actually it comes out that the tanoim are legitimate tanoim. Not like he just said before, that tanoim can't be made in a ksuva, or in a document, right? What are we talking about? Whatever it is. No, I made a mistake. Tonight can be made a shvua. Shvua rhymes with shvua. Tonight can be made a shvua, we said. No, tonight can be made a shvua. And therefore, what we said before, that we only make him take the shvua that he's not making it tnoim, in order that he should not think tnoim work in a shvua. It's not true, obviously, tnoim do work in a shvua. Otherwise, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't have to say, as asher yishno po meid hayom, asher ineno po meid hayom. The fact that he had to say that indicates that it tonight does work by shvua. Okay, it's late. We'll stop here for this evening.
Why would there be a havamina that a shvua has to be done in Lashon HaKodesh? I mean, it's not.
Well, it's going to be like the next Mishnah, which we didn't get to, precisely because the reason why the next Mishnah we do require things to be Lashon HaKodesh. Okay?
So I see it's just a preparation, but it's kind of obvious.
No, I mean there is a havamina, but you're right. It is obvious that's pretty Hebrew. In drums, yeah.